they're working on. What else?
That's pretty much it.
Each state has a representative.
Well, 49 states, actually all 50 now, because Hawaii finally came on. All 50 states have at least a proclamation or a resolution talking about Juneteenth, you know.
Okay.
4 states have it as a state holiday, Virginia being one of them.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's a state holiday. He's been definitely smoking, you know, because that
You can
last
get a
year,
day off.
state employees in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, last year he made it a state holiday.
So good. Then, so we just trying to make it a federal holiday.
Now this is trying to make it a federal holiday,
Okay.
which would cover all the states and territories.
Right.
Yeah.
Because usually Virginia, even with the federal holiday, they used to be the last ones to ratify anything. The last ones.
We got to give Virginia its props.
Yeah, they've been becoming very progressive.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, this is the effort, this is the national Juneteenth folks.
Mhm.
And they are, and the guy talking is Steve Williams, he's the president. And the goal is again, to get this legislation through the House. And the Senate is already taken care of, really. In fact, I was in D.C., and we met with the Senate, a couple of senators and so forth like that.
Okay.
And, but they weren't Virginia senators. So actually, this coming week, one of the things I want to talk to you about is that we need to do some follow-up in terms of like reaching out to some people, like call these senator offices. It's got to be more than one call, you know.
Yes,
what I've been doing,
yes,
you know, like
yes,
I call
yes.
it once a week kind
Yes,
of thing. That ain't
yes.
hitting it, you know.
Yes.
But I need to be able to get Warner and Kane and to get this information,
Okay.
so that they know what's going on.
Okay.
And, you know, so that's. Let's take out a notebook and say, do you have anything to take notes with? Because that was at the top of the list in terms of what I was wanting to task you with, because there is a list of people who I need to be in touch with who are not people who will answer the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and or you know, or they're busy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're busy.
Yeah. I understand, because
Now, did you when we first went into the building and everything like that,
what building?
across the street, the theater and
Uh-huh.
everything, and you were I didn't have a chance to really talk to you. I didn't really
Right.
know what you were doing or who you were, or anything like that. So, what had you and Dr. Hajra, had you come to some sort of understanding of what she was asking you to do, or
No, she never did get back with me.
Okay.
Yeah, she had something that she was giving me, and she wanted me to make some lists and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then she said, "Oh, I gotta get something. I gotta do something with it." And then she never got back with
Okay.
me
All right.
on it. So that's where we were on that.
All right.
This is- Oh, I was supposed to say something.
We're excited about that partnership also. So we're hoping to leverage this mural project.
So this is
Activities on the island to celebrate our history 365 days a year. The one
Saturday,
thing
April 3rd,
about this
2021.
project,
And Darlene, Melanie, and myself are down at the church.
monuments
And we've got on the phone the National Juneteenth folks talking about the state holiday. I mean, a national holiday that the work is being put forward to see it be a national holiday. And I'm going to just we're going to do an interview with Melanie today as a team member. And that's pretty much it.
We're going to create an outdoor classroom with this space. The augmented reality will allow you to use your smartphone to point it at the mural, see videos that will teach you the history that's in the mural, the subject matter. When the phone recognizes certain images.
Didn't Warner used to be the
in the
governor?
mural,
Warner was the governor.
Kane was the governor. They need to go home. They need to go home.
In fact, Kane was mayor. I mean, he was on the city council of Richmond. He was mayor of Richmond. Then he was lieutenant governor, and now senator.
Okay. What about this?
And he ran for vice president.
Martin Luther King Jr. steering committee. Could you talk to them and put them, because I know Melvin Mariner is on it, and I know he's friends with Kane.
Uh-huh.
So if I get an ear on to him, I'm gonna tell him
So, if anybody has
that
any
he need to
questions or you
talk
want
to
more
her because they need to
information,
make this a
our
you know
website is
just if he talks to him, he need to tell him that they need to make this a they need to work to make this a federal holiday.
Well, then, and so the way that the strategy would be that if Mariner can drop a dime and have Kane take my call, or one of his aides,
Gotcha.
but I need to be able to make sure that I can get the information to him,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I don't want to send it and it just sit in a pile.
Exactly.
So if Mariner would say, listen, Sherry Bale Juneteenth is, trying to get some information in front of you, would you?
So we are Juneteenth VA.
That's yes.
Okay.
The official name of the company is Juneteenth Festival Company, but Juneteenth VA is our public name.
Okay.
For Ms. Opal Lee, and also for Sanaya Gay as a national Miss Juneteenth.
Okay.
So we are
Okay, and
excited
so
about the fact it went
Kane,
up to 15 to 20,000 people today
and
as
so
part of the publication of the Galveston County.
let's say you have Mariner make a call or something like that. He doesn't need to know all of the details of what it is. He just kind of needs to know Juneteenth, Virginia, Sherry Bailey wants to reach Senator Warner.
Okay.
Can you help?
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay.
But I want you to know that there's like a subtopics in terms of cocaine.
Okay.
All right, and that is essentially that.
Do you have that information for me somewhere where I can?
What I would suggest you do. Have you been to the website?
Not since last summer.
Okay, then the homework is to go look at the website.
Okay. I
And
get
that-
the information off of there.
And once you have a chance to look at the website, then you'll have questions and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we'll talk some more
Okay.
about that. And so that makes sense. And so right now, in terms of action things, I would just simply be trying to reach Kane and Warner.
Okay.
But
in reaching them, I am just telling them that
To expect the packet.
Okay.
When I send the packet, it will not just go into a slush pile, but actually get open and responded to.
Okay.
The artists and people out there in the parking lot working
regarding Juneteenth VA.
Right.
Will latch onto the webcam and
Or
the
Juneteenth
cameras because you can control
as
it.
a federal,
Right.
Somebody else
Well,
comes on, you can
like I
go
said,
or just regarding Juneteenth.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Because there's several things that I'm on the list.
Okay,
So,
okay.
it's just
All right. Well,
I thought it
that's
was just
good.
about
And right
Juneteenth.
now, yeah, because yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they might can get that done before Juneteenth is. Well, it's in June. I would say because no, because the new laws don't come out until July the 1st.
No, for state laws, but for the federal, it can be, whenever they do it.
Oh, okay. Well, they need to get that law passed on Juneteenth. The date of Juneteenth is what, the 19th?
The 19th, right.
Okay.
Right. But I mean, in terms of the way it will work, Juneteenth will be, in terms of active events and stuff like that, starting June 1st through June 30th.
Okay. So
That's considered Juneteenth season.
okay.
Actually, June 1st through July 4th is considered Juneteenth season.
Okay.
So that's 6 weeks. That's when you get it.
So you already have events planned.
That's what's happening now. I'm behind the
You're
eight
planning your
ball.
events.
Yeah, this virus is like kind of made this the moment where you have to start making the plans now. And
Okay.
even now, we're still kind of like, hopefully things will be open and able to like roll, but we're in the middle of another surge and all that kind of stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But I mean, people moving ahead, so
Yeah. Well, do you have you can at least work on your outdoor events
yeah.
because those are
Yeah, we're working. In fact, I'm looking at next Friday, April 9th, as being our first. That's going to be our kind of a kickoff press conference kind of event at Portsmouth City Park.
Oh, okay. What time?
11 a.m.
Okay.
Also, put in your subject line. Have you got any requests for flag email or requests for flags yet?
And what we'll be doing, I'm meeting with Portsmouth Public, Professional Tourism, and we're going to be doing these
Oh, you're
series of
gonna
plays.
redo these that
We're
you
going to do
did.
a series of
Yeah.
plays called Summers in Suffolk.
Oh, okay.
And so,
So we just need to confirm a
Okay.
price with them.
and then
and
we'll,
be ready to place the order.
need to be in the space like at least 6 weeks for rehearsals. And then
Here
no, at the
they have
It's
in
an
that little
amphitheater.
that room. I'm gonna have to
Portland
go
City
over
Park,
there.
yeah.
I'll drive over there today.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Get it.
Because Darlene and I were there yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what was I doing yesterday?
Hey, Darlene, are we ready for the interview?
For your flag raising for the Buffalo Soldiers. Okay. Buffalo Soldiers will be scheduled
Okay.
to come
Well,
out
just
and,
give us a heads up when you're ready.
be there. Wanting to make an arrangement.
Yeah, they've got this beautiful little amphitheater at Portland City Park. Got a
Okay.
little kitchen
Okay.
connected to it.
Okay.
And so that's
So you're gonna sell refreshments?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
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 So okay. And then what is this space for?
This is like every day kind of, and this is going to be the radio station. WJVA, we are ready to finally get that set up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll be able to do all of our recording of everything, podcasts and
I mean, who? So you wanted WJVA? Who has that station? Is it?
Juneteenth was.
Oh, I see.
approved by-
Juneteenth, Virginia. I got it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a low-powered FM radio station that's not going to reach very far, but that's okay. We'll be on the band, broadcast band,
Okay.
and we'll do. This will be the home until the theater is, the building is ready.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that building is still gonna be the building.
That's my goal.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
working on it. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the deal with it?
Need to get a bank loan.
Oh,
or
money.
money.
Okay. So if it had the money, it'd be done.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So working on getting the money.
Okay.
In fact,
Can you get grant money?
we can get we can get grant money, but
Uh-huh.
that takes time to get it, applied for. And
Right.
everything. But we're in the process of doing exactly that.
Okay. Okay.
So, and we'll be here in action probably in another month or so,
Okay.
about that. And the other one is to get a bank loan,
Okay.
and we got a lender who's ready to give us one, but we need to find a guarantor for $1 million, and
Okay.
we're in that process of, doing, looking for that guarantor.
Okay.
In fact, we'll be having a meeting this coming week about folks who are looking like they might do it. And
Oh,
just
okay.
fingers crossed that, it
Who are they?
They are a group that's working with the Tidewater Gardens, the St. Paul's Quadrant, dealing with the rehab of those Section 8
Oh, it's a
houses.
private company.
They're 501c3, a nonprofit.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah.
So what is their interest?
Well, we have a similar demographic. They're, those folks in Tidewater Gardens. The majority of them are under the age of 18. And here you got, basically children with no voice.
Uh-huh.
And so the Theater Academy, those are the students we would, want to make sure that we capture them.
Okay, the arts.
Yeah.
Bringing back the arts.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because
Is that what I mean? I'm trying to get
No,
everything like so they get stuck in my head. It'll be easy.
well, here's the thing: theater is it takes care of everyone. There's a role.
Right. That's
There's a
what I say,
role
the
for
arts.
everyone.
The arts because you got
Acting to wardrobe.
you got the carpenters. Yeah.
Right.
You got the people that make the clothes.
Exactly.
The designers.
Yeah, so from
yeah.
accounting, house management
Yeah.
to being on stage.
Yeah.
There's a role for everyone in
Okay,
theater, and so
okay.
therefore, and then you can take those skills and take them to other careers.
Exactly,
Did you become articulate?
So will it be will it be like a school curriculum type thing or will
Portsmouth
it be
Theater Academy is
Yes.
what we're going to be creating. The Portsmouth Theater
is
Academy.
it going to be
PTA.
is it going to be is it going to be just arts a day curriculum or is it going to be like a school like how would the students come it will be classes.
Well, that is
Or-
still to be determined, actually, because I
Okay.
want to work with Portsmouth Public Schools, obviously.
Oh,
But it's also
yes.
going to be open to the public in terms of,
Yes.
because the two things that we'll be teaching We'll be teaching folks how to be historical reenactors,
Okay.
like you have in Colonial Williamsburg and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And we'll teach people how to be actors on the Broadway stage.
Okay.
I mean, those are similar skill sets, but they're different.
Uh-huh.
And so, and that's going to be available to our Portsmouth people and our Norfolk people from,
Okay.
St.
So will
Paul's.
there be a fees for this?
For some folks, not for
Right.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the children from in the school system,
Right.
there's
Right.
no fee.
Right.
So that's where the grant money and
Grant
different
money
things, like where
and
the school
will pay
board
for,
will
yeah,
pay for
yeah. We do a
Okay.
combination
So
of those
yeah,
kind of
so
things.
well then actually they are paying, but the school is paying for the
Exactly.
will pay for the students.
Exactly.
Oh, so you know Cardell Patillo?
I know of him.
Yeah, he was the youth pastor at Grove for years. Yeah, I think he would get him on board too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On board. Another school board member is Ingrid Whitaker.
Okay, yes, I talked to her husband when they were running, because once I stood out in that cold and talked to every single candidate, because I didn't know who to vote for in Portsmouth, because I was so busy canvassing for the presidential election. So I had to talk to each one of them, and yeah.
And that's the story I want to do in WJVA. The fact that she's on the school board, he's on the city council. That's what they call a dynamic couple, duo, and that's a rare thing here in this area.
I mean, Portsmouth has got some great leadership coming in, but what's going on with the mayor? What is going on with him?
I don't know what's happening.
Nothing.
I didn't know.
Nothing. I mean, nothing. I mean, maybe he's doing a lot of stuff, a lot of work behind the scenes. But when he was running, I seen him everywhere. Now that he's in there, I don't see him no more.
Well, I think to get over the scare that he had with the city manager situation.
Oh, that was just ignorant. That was pure ignorance. I was like, you know what? Did they think for a minute they thought they was white? I mean, like, and then the whole thing about it was, like, I work with, people, and you take care of your people at the top. You go and they say, I'm gonna do this, and you go and you investigate, and then you say, look, we got an issue, let's fix this. I was a fixer. That's what I was. I was a fixer.
Okay.
And we fixed that. We fix it.
Okay.
And then it's like, and then if it comes up, just like with Obama. Remember they did him? They was like, oh yeah, I don't know, snorted cocaine, smoked. He was like, yeah. It's in the book. He was just like, yeah. It's in the book I wrote, yeah.
You've already covered that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And she could have, but I was like, they was just like, they had lost their dang on mind. They went cuckoo for a minute. It was almost, they just like, yeah, girl, we get in there, you in there, we got a spot for you. That's how I felt.
Okay.
And then I was just like, what?
Politics it's a dirty business,
It is. But she did get some good publicity, because I didn't even know that was a restaurant thing over there on High Street. So I was like, I didn't know what that was. That little dark. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was a place where dope dealers, prostitutes go at night.
Well, how could that even be legal?
So
That's never stopped anybody, right?
Exactly.
National holiday for Haines City. So this year in 2021, Haines City will close down its operation and actually observe.
What city is that? I mean, what state is that? She said somebody was stopping down there.
I think it was Lakeland, Florida.
Individual city. So do you have to talk on? So you represent Virginia? Are there?
There's other things in Virginia, but I'm Virginia, VA.
Okay.
A lot of people associate me with Juneteenth in this area.
Right.
So,
So the Portsmouth Theater Academy, I mean, is that going to be under the umbrella of Juneteenth?
Yeah.
According to him, we cannot speak for him, but we're certain that he will support it, because locally we're also working to have an event.
Are you going to ask the question?
I am.
Okay.
Basically, the same conversation we were just having.
So why do you do the interview?
Because
Like this?
I want to be able to document the folks who are part of the effort of what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
you ain't gonna do just a picture and
Right.
words.
Let people get to know you.
Ooh, thank you, Holy Spirit, for allowing me to put some clothes on. Cause the girl show wasn't going. But I said, shoot, let me put some clothes on for a change. So let me see what that feel like. So this whole room is gonna take up the radio station, or this just be like the radio station and the administrative area and all that?
You know, I'm not really clear about that at this point. The equipment has changed. It used to be in the old days it would have taken up the whole room, but the equipment is different now.
Oh, okay.
And I have to. A lot it's done from laptops and stuff like that. And everything
Okay,
like
so
that.
you have like an engineer?
Yeah,
person? Okay.
definitely. All I can do is plug stuff in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you tell me where to do that.
You know, that's a lot of history. That was back in.
What kind of topics are you gonna talk about? Because girl, I got a whole long list of people that if you need content on the radio, I always got a list of people that.
Excellent.
Everybody doing something.
Yeah.
Everybody doing things. Yeah, it's on and popping this season. So.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I forgot to call mama back.
Okay, we got to
Hey,
cross our T's and dot our I's on this.
Hey,
HR 1320.
hello. Hey, I'm gonna call you back. I'm sitting here over here at the church, and they getting ready to interview me.
And let me tell you this,
Okay.
they're looking for folk in
Is she coming this way?
Oh, I meant to call her earlier and ask if she was coming.
Discord, so we're trying to get that as a minimum, brother. Okay, and who's the other person from Lakeland on?
I'm not sure. 65950.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. This is Marissa Barnes from the city of Winter Haven.
Oh, okay.
I hope everyone's having a great afternoon. I'm the special events and marketing coordinator for the city of Winter Haven, and I am helping coordinate the inaugural Juneteenth celebration right here in Fulton County for the city of Winter Haven. So we're super excited. We've got a lot of community support as well as support from our local municipality leaders, city manager, and
Okay, so what was your last name, Melanie?
For all intents and purposes for this interview, we're gonna go with Anderson.
Oh. All righty.
And that's a whole long story. That's another episode.
Well, I look forward to hearing that at some point down the road there. So today, we have Melanie Anderson with us, and we wanted to, in the tradition of what we do with Juneteenth VA, is to introduce our team members to you, our audience and our supporters. We are, working hard to get this right, and we don't know what that all means, but, following our hearts and our passions and our causes for the right reasons brings us all together. And today I wanted Melanie to just kind of share a little bit about her journey and why we find her here today on this Saturday afternoon talking about, what she's going to talk about. What's going on, Melanie?
Well, what would you like to know?
Well, what's your experience with Juneteenth? How did you become aware of that?
I became aware of Juneteenth. I was doing my daily walking, and I happened to pass the Old Colony Theater, and people were in there. I saw the door was open, so I peeked in. And when I peeked in, I saw a group of ladies that were looked like they were having a meeting, but there was some activity going on. When I inquired, they told me that they were with the Juneteenth VA, and that they were working to prepare that theater for the Portsmouth Theater Academy. So, of course, I'm like, what can I do to help? I'm in this Juneteenth VA. I want to know about history and different things like that. It's a lot of history in the area that I walk, downtown Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm like, you can walk down through here and you can feel it. If you walk down through these streets of Portsmouth, Virginia, I promise you, I don't know who you are, but you will feel the history of this place. So I was just ecstatic to know that I could be a part of helping with the Juneteenth VA. And at that particular time, they chose me to be their volunteer ambassador. And basically, what I did was contact volunteers, people that had signed up on our sign-in sheet, and asked them to come and do cleanup in the theater because the theater was being prepared for use. So that is how I became a part of Juneteenth VA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Just kind of walking down the street.
Yes, and looking at, like I said, the history here is, gosh, I'm not from here. So I literally walk the streets, and what I do is in this area, I'll walk the streets and I'll think in the 18, what was I doing? What would I be doing
Mm-hmm.
as a Black person?
Mhm.
What would I be doing?
Mm-hmm.
So I sometimes I can reenact because it's on the water.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that they would have some, the slaves, they would, the indentured servants,
Mm-hmm.
they would be working on the water.
Right.
They would have people that were cutting the grass every day,
Mhm.
all day.
Mm-hmm.
They had women that were working and cleaning up.
Mhm.
So that would have been my experience
Right.
during that time. So
Right.
I can actually see and sense that when I walk down
Right.
those streets
Right.
because they still have the old homes, the brick sidewalks, everything.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up something really important too. You are not from here, so you were able to come. You see the richness of the history with an objective eye, and as opposed to me, I grew up here, was born and raised here, and left running after high school, never to return, because it was so boring. And it wasn't not until I was an adult out in the world that I kind of came to realize the value and the gift of the being from this place because of the history.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible. This is
It
basically where the United States of America was born.
And they don't teach us that. And
Right.
in these last few months, with so many historical movies being made and so
Mhm.
much information coming out, it just made me angry because
Mhm.
I'm like, they didn't teach us
Right,
this. They didn't teach us the true history.
right,
They taught us only what they wanted us to know.
right.
And we missed out on so much because if we knew, I mean, really, sometimes this is what I say when I'm walking in this area, I say, I can feel the blood of the slaves that came here.
Yeah.
Like this place is full of the blood of the slaves that came.
Hmm. It's in the ground.
It's in the ground.
And this
It
is ground zero. This
Yes.
is ground zero for American history, Black history, as it pertains to how we got to the United States of America.
Exactly.
I
And
mean, yeah.
for that reason, it really makes me I don't even want to be here because this is where it started.
Mhm.
And I really, but we got to think about it, how bad the conditions were when they brought people over in the very beginning, because remember, they treated us like animals.
Mhm.
So I know there's a lot of, when I say the blood of the people, I'm literally
Yeah.
believing that
Right.
the blood of so many people
Right,
is in this city.
Right. I mean, the history is extremely instructive. I mean, for Virginia, we document in 1619 those first Africans who came into the Jamestown colony, and they were put to work as indentured servants. Indentured servants who worked their contracts, learned a craft, a skill, and then had their freedom.
Mhm.
So, this was, in the 1600s, and they could legitimately be viewed as the beginning of the Black middle class. They were free Blacks, they had a skill. And in fact, some of them went on to actually, be wealthy.
Yes.
And that's why this region, Hampton Roads, Tidewater, Hampton Roads, is so interesting because you have a lineage going back to the 1600s that was basically middle class. Nobody ever talks about that when they tell the history.
Right.
So that's why it's so important for Black folks to be involved in the telling of this history,
Yes.
because we're going to tell it from a different perspective.
Yes.
We're not going to lie or make up anything,
Yes.
but we're going to tell this history
From our eyes.
through our eyes.
Yes.
So to then talk about Black middle class before the 20th century, that's our job,
Yes.
to be able to give people an expanded horizon,
Yes.
a viewpoint in terms of that history.
Yes.
And so when you said you got angry about not being
Yes.
told, I love that response, because that's exactly what enough already.
Exactly. I was just like, and I grew up in Kansas.
Right.
And when I was looking at the Dred Scott decision, I
Yes.
was like, oh,
Right.
I was like,
Right.
those people in Kansas.
Right.
And then they have a thing in Kansas and Missouri. You have to learn, you can't graduate from high school, you can't graduate from college without taking, like if you go in their state's history.
Okay.
But they only teach you
What they want you
what they
to know,
want to
you know.
teach you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kansas is a huge state in terms of the whole issue, the resolution of slavery and how it
That's why I
progressed.
was like, Kansas, what in the world? What y'all little people doing? What in the world? Because Kansas is like, okay,
All right.
you got your populated, like I came from Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a whole lot of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that state is mostly a whole lot of nothing. So that's why I was like, what in the world? They was causing all that commotion.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even, it ain't even all that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about the land, apparently, and America. I mean, it's kind of catch-22, because I mean, we basically are documenting the rise of America, and what they were doing is basically taking land from Native folks, oppressing Black folks, and as well as Latinos, because basically everything in west of this country, basically California, New Mexico, Arizona, all those Spanish surnames
Yeah.
tells you one thing, that they were already there, and now they're accused of breaking into the country,
Exactly.
but it was their
And
country
that's my
first.
thing. I lived in Texas for a year in Houston.
Right.
And to me, I learned, and I didn't even know, but when I moved there, I learned some of the history.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Right.
Going to school, it was not put in my head that that Texas is Mexico.
Yeah.
And America took it.
Right.
So when I went there, I was like, this is Mexico.
Right.
And because it is a place where you go to stores and everything, it's the Mexican population, Latino population is Mexican. It's so fast that on the loudspeaker at Walmart, they're talking Spanish,
Right.
because everybody is mostly
Mm-hmm.
Spanish people,
Mhm,
and other ethnic groups also. But
Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized, and I was saddened. And really, I tell people all the time that I'm sorry, but the Mexicans need to take Texas back.
Yeah.
Well, but they need to get rid of that one guy. His name, I ain't seen his name. But, is he Cuban? Is he a Cuban immigrant or is he a Mexican immigrant?
Which one are we talking? There are a couple of folks that you could be talking
His
about.
last name starts with a C. His first name starts with a T.
Oh, Cruz. Oh
You can
my
say-
God, it's hard to say his name.
He got to go.
Yeah, I think he will. I
He
mean,
lost his mind.
he's just been recently reelected, but he may have a hard time getting reelected again. That's true. But people have short memories a lot of times,
Yeah.
So
You don't
it's hard.
keep it going. It's so much information that it's hard to remember everything. People are forgetting January 6th, we had an insurrection. It was the craziest thing ever. Like some people that I know that are 80 and above,
Mm-hmm.
that thing they kind of lost something. Like some of them are not even like, it just took something out of them.
Really?
I mean, just think 80 years old and 90 years old, the things that they have seen
Yeah.
from Jim Crow to
Right.
everything to a Black president, everything, and then to see that,
Yeah.
it just kind of took something out of them because they don't know what to expect. You can't, it used to be you could see a progressive
Mhm.
change, but now it's just like, what's happening?
Yeah. It seems though this generation, the older generation, is having a difficult time passing the baton.
Oh my God. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, we are, and also we're the generation that we're never gonna be old. I'm sorry, we're gonna be 92, hat to the back. You know, that's just we came up in that era, and it's just we can't let it go. And yes, we.
You know, and that in the moment of change and the exchange of the baton is happening right now.
It
You
is.
know,
But
so
we so scared. The young people, they just like they're scary. They're scarier than we were. I mean,
because they have no fear.
well, we didn't have any fear either when we were young, but
That's
their
true.
level is just, like I got these people. They're saying, oh, the choices are male, female, plural,
They,
binary. What is that?
yeah, that's a lot.
I'm like, what is going on? People, oh, everybody's everybody. No, everybody's not everybody.
Right.
Some of us got an XY chromosome, some of us don't, and that's what I go by.
Yeah, this is the generation. I mean, they're the first generation that has been completely digitized from the very beginning. I mean, we are in the transition from we remember, analog clocks, and
Yes, the
yeah,
kids can't even tell time with the
right,
numbers on the clock. They
right.
can't tell time. So many things. I think that, and also, they need to bring home economics back to the school.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I learned that is you can learn. I mean, the lessons I learned at home economic, they have carried me all my life.
I mean, everything is computerized now. What would home economics look like these days? What are you talking? I mean,
They
what would
need
it
to
look
teach them
like?
how to cook. They
Hmm.
taught you how to cook. I mean, the basic stuff. Taught you how to bake bread. How to, put yeast and grow. That's a good thing. Taught you basic stuff. How to cook, how to wash the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
They taught, what else did they teach? They make sure you know how to sew on a button, how to sew,
Mm-hmm.
basic stuff. They taught you that. They taught you things like, oh, this is a good one. Okay. I remember they taught us on the food packaging, they have all these codes.
Mm-hmm.
We had to learn, they taught us those codes,
Mm-hmm.
what they mean. And they're not teaching that now because I have a 24-year-old son,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say, well, where's such and such? Oh, I threw that out. It was a week old. There
Mm.
was nothing wrong with it. Well, but it was a week old. The package said Best Buy, such and such a date, and
Right.
that date has passed. I'm
Right.
like, you don't go by that. That's marketing.
Right.
When you go get some more, you don't go by that. But in his mind, it's like that's what it said. He threw it out. Home economics would have taught him that that's a marketing thing. They put that on there because that's like to protect them if something happens, and they'll be like, oh, we told you don't buy it, don't get it after this date, and you did. But
Like by you saying that, that makes me realize, think of more of how why theater is such a great match for folks these days. Because again, in theater, there's a role for everyone. So I remember when I was in graduate school, in theater graduate school at UCLA, I was in the playwriting program, but they made us go through all the other area
that's a
departments.
good idea.
So we had to go to the set design, class, and we,
Because you
all
can find your niche that way.
well, we were in playwriting, but we needed to see what the
Right.
other folks did,
Right.
and
But I mean, I was thinking about the younger
exactly.
people that would be, because
Exactly.
they might not
Right.
really know
Right,
what
right.
they want to do.
Right,
But
right,
then they'll get something and
Right.
it'll be like, oh,
Right,
it'll
right.
be their fit.
right. Like the kid who's interested in fashion,
Right.
doing theater, and you have to, research the period time, the time of, when the clothing was worn and stuff like that, or the location and all that kind of stuff like that. So they're interested in fashion, and they're also learning history and how to apply it.
Oh,
Same
that's
thing.
awesome.
Like in the 17th century, 18th century, they wore wigs a lot. So people wear wigs today.
Right.
So what's that all about in terms of like understanding the history and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So again, there's a role for everyone. You're saying that makes me realize how true it is for what we're doing and everything like that. What are your interests? So what kind of areas are you interested in doing, working through?
I am eclectic. I'm a
Not
Jane of all
surprising.
trades, mistress of none. I dibble and dabble in a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I like to see the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, for example, when I worked in construction, I was administrative,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to see everything from bid, working on the bids,
Okay.
to getting the job, to getting the subs organized,
Okay.
to getting the material, ordering the material, to making sure that it was on the job site, to see the buildings going up, to see our part that we were doing, and to see the building go up, and to be a part of that.
Right.
So it was like the big picture. I was like the part of the big picture, and I enjoy being a part of the big picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seeing things from
Okay.
every step. So,
What was the biggest building you worked on?
let's see. We did a hospital.
Wow.
We did Kings Fork High School.
Here in Suffolk?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We did what did we do? We did quite a few. We were commercial.
Yeah.
We were commercial. So yeah, we did quite a few. So it was interesting to, when you're in construction, to see, if you get a chance to see, like, the guys, even the craftsmen that work out, they don't know
Mm-hmm.
the big picture.
Right.
They just know they're one little piece.
Right.
And for me to be able to see the whole piece, it's like, but I was like assistant project manager.
Okay.
In addition to my I was everything.
Wow.
And then I was comptroller also.
Okay.
So I did a lot of, it was just interesting. It was very
Sounds like
interesting.
you were busy.
Yes, I was very busy. I was very busy. But, I got to go, I spent time on the job sites
Mm-hmm.
with a hard hat, and I just really enjoyed that. But management, they decided that it wasn't a good idea for me to be on the job site because they said it distracted the man from the work.
Oh, goodness. Goodness.
I mean, that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now they probably just get out of the way.
Wow.
Move, lady.
Right. It's back in the day when they weren't as enlightened as they are today, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And so how do you even get to that point where you're like assistant project manager on a construction site? I mean, what was it before that?
Well, started from the bottom now. No.
Okay.
I just, I went, I had worked at a construction company, a black-owned construction company here in Virginia for about 5 years.
Okay.
They were commercial also,
Okay.
and I did. I did assistant project management, same thing, but I also did the payroll and all those kind of
Okay.
things. So I left there, and then a couple of years later, I went to another commercial construction. I also worked for a home builder
Okay.
before, and all I know is this. I'm gonna tell y'all, like I tell everybody, once you close, y'all can forget about that punch list. Okay, we will not be jumping on top of that. They do not, because they got all their money.
Okay.
There's no more money.
Okay.
So when they're sending people to, there's a little something here that needs to be fixed, they're paying out of their profit because the money is gone.
Okay.
That's why when you have new construction and you're calling them saying, here's a list of things that we found, there's a little crack here, whatever. They're so slow in doing that.
I got
Because there's no money
I got you.
coming in.
I got
But
you. Okay.
I just went there. I went to a commercial company, and actually it was so funny because in working with the project managers and the estimators, they told me that the hardest part of the estimating, the hardest part of building the building was the mechanical, which is your HVAC, things like that. And I said, oh, well, I ain't gonna never work. I don't have to worry about that. I ain't gonna never deal with that. And then I went and worked for a commercial mechanical company for 10 years. And that's where, but it was just interesting. And I learned a lot how they bid. Like I know how they bid. They count every fixture.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a big 20-story building. They count every fixture, oh my God, it's
Wow.
very tedious. And I would just go there, and I started out as a project manager assistant, mostly admin.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do my job, and then I would just make myself available to
Wow.
help I would say, hey, they're estimating. My thing is, I need them to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
So let me make the copies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need you to make the money. I need you to concentrate on the thing. The copies don't make the money, but
Right,
the other thing you're doing makes the money.
Right,
So you make the money so
Right. right.
we can get raises and stuff. And I just started working with, the different estimators and project managers, and I was just doing it. And then, so that was what it was. And then the company split off.
Mm-hmm.
And when they split off, I worked with the company, and I became their comptroller.
Okay, which basically means you do what?
I was the bookkeeper and
The
the
payroll.
administrative person.
Gotcha,
I was
gotcha.
the financial person and the administrative person.
I gotcha. Okay. Oh my goodness, Melanie, this is such wonderful information to find out, particularly with the theater, the Colony Theater, I mean, it has no HVAC system,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and it has those apartments on the third floor, which, which
So
way
you
to
gotta
go?
get all that stuff put in there and
Yeah,
everything.
and so we're estimating 650,000 for the rehab.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why I'm so
that's just a
thrilled to
little
hear
bit
about
over
your
$500,000,
information.
huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear about your experience and everything like that, because you can help, make the right decisions and everything like that.
Yeah, what I did, I'm gonna tell you how I learned stuff. Okay, there's Virginia it's a very racist area. One of the pluses I had was that I came from someplace else, so
Mhm.
that was a bonus for me. But what they would do with me is that they would just assume that my level of knowledge was very low, and they would sit me in a room, and then they would, I was always there with them, and they would to learn everything as they were having their conversations. And I am a nervous note taker,
Mm-hmm.
so I would just sit there and I would just write everything that they were saying.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot. And then sometimes they had, they got into a little trouble, but I had all the information to get them out of the trouble
Mm-hmm.
because I was listening. And that's
Wow.
how I became,
See, now your story reminds me of a story about a woman named Mary Leviste, and she was this is 1863, and she got plans about the making of the Monitor Merrimack and the ironclads.
uh-huh.
That was a secret project, and she got the plans to D.C. to the Secretary of War, and this was a black woman who basically, the espionage, she
Wow.
got these secret plans and got them to, the Union forces, and had a great impact on the Battle of the Ironclads, because they were able to get their boat ready, and they had that
Wow.
famous battle. And same thing, she was probably
Yes.
she probably was, cleaning up, and in the room,
Yeah.
and understood the value of it all, and made her way up to DC with these plans. I mean, and it tells you so much. I mean, she obviously must have been literate,
Exactly.
and certainly, the whole idea that black folks weren't participating in terms of ending winning the Civil War,
Exactly.
doing more than anybody would ever know,
Right.
And so this is one of the incident, yeah. And I would tell that story, your story. I would have you narrate her story basically, because
Awesome.
that would be just a perfect match right there. In
Oh my
terms of-
gosh, yes, yes.
I love it.
yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, we got some good stuff here, I think,
Okay.
and again, it's really just to we'll take the footage, and we're going to be creating things, down the road in
Okay.
terms of promoting who we are, talking about all of this kind of stuff. So I don't know where it's going to show up at some point, but
Okay.
it will, and you'll get to see everything before anything,
Okay.
goes out on the vast internet and all that kind of stuff like that.
Okay.
But
all I ask is my only request that is, if you Photoshop me, please use a 25-year-old body.
you know, you're not the first one to make that request.
That's all I say.
I hear ya, right? But yeah, this has been good to get this
Yeah,
conversation
well, I'm
started.
happy to be a part of the Juneteenth VA and Portsmouth Theater Academy because I hope to get an opportunity to participate also
Hmm.
in some of the productions.
Oh, you want to be on stage?
Yes, I do. Stop.
Some people like I want to be on stage. Other people like never. You know, so whichever camp you're in, you are certainly still going to be welcome and involved in a very busy way. So
I keep telling her I've been acting. I've been practicing my role as the baby Jesus, you know, or the dead woman. I'm really having a hard time with the dead woman. I can't be still long enough.
oh well, there's plenty of things to do on stage. I can assure you. You know. But yeah, we will definitely do that. All right. Well, one of the things, in fact, we want to get done today is we're going to do some. Can we screen anything? I have got anything to screen? Or you can still do some rendering, about Darlene.
Oh, I have to do some rendering.
Okay. Well, then we can talk though, because I've got like a list of things I want to like kind of share with you,
Okay.
and not just to give you an overview kind of thing.
Okay,
like that.
good,
Okay. Yeah. All right. Alrighty. So we're gonna say we're finished with this for the moment. And I'm gonna move back over that way.
Okay.
So if we have Darlene's way.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, you finished recording up here?
Oh, I didn't say end though.
Okay.
Question, are you gonna be recording this? Will we have this as a 52-week recording?
You want to see all the promotion?
Can we show those?
Yeah, I think most of them are finished and I want to go ahead and resend them again.
Oh, you're gonna you send them to my laptop, or can we watch them up here?
You can watch them up here.
Oh, let's watch them up
Or
here.
resend them to you.
Okay.
Send me the link. I'll be here.
Y'all still listen to the call?
Oh yeah. Sometimes the call is like so entertaining.
Do they use it?
Not since the COVID, the virus. But and it's not clear exactly how it can be used now, as everything is in flux. I mean, they have a few church activities and things like that, but the membership has fallen drastically, so there are very few people around. So, Melanie, I wanted to give you an overview of the projects that are kind of at the top of the list. One of the biggest being right now is Virginia Beach Public Schools. We have a play called Abolitionist Museum.
A play?
A play called Abolitionist Museum.
Abolitionist?
Mm-hmm. I'll show you a copy of it.
Museum? You said Abolitionist Museum? Oh, okay. So, with the City of Virginia Beach Schools, you already got that set up?
We're setting it up right now. In fact, it's the final document goes into working on it this weekend and getting it to them next week.
Okay.
And essentially, it would be a professional development tool for their teachers. The play itself has been performed. It's 20 years old, been performed before like over 10,000 students.
Mm-hmm.
And it deals with Confederate symbols. And
Oh,
it's
good one for
designed
Virginia
to, well, hopefully for all the Virginia public schools, you know,
Mhm.
Creating an atmosphere where teachers can guide students through conversations about Confederate flags and other kind of difficult topics, you know.
So who would be in the play? The students or the?
We're going to train the teachers to be able to do the production themselves with their students.
Oh.
So they'll learn how to produce it, you know, and then they'll take it into their classrooms. And a huge component of the whole project is the post-show conversation. You're basically helping people have conversations about difficult history.
Okay.
So that's a major project. And then WJVA, getting that set up.
Okay.
And then when you were talking about the history and everything, housing and stuff like that, I want to see Fort Monroe. In 1861, after the contraband escape, you got those 3 men who escaped and went there, and they were given asylum, basically. They were given a job, put on the payroll, which essentially put them on the path to citizenship. So
Black men?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 3 black men escaped from their owner in Norfolk, made their way to Fort Monroe. When they got to Fort Monroe, they when their owner came to pick them up to reclaim them, he was denied their return by a federal policy known as contraband of war, which meant that you could confiscate the property of the enemy. So the general there, Butler, didn't return these 3 men to their owner, and in fact put them on the federal payroll, which put them on the path to citizenship in 1861, essentially ending chattel slavery at that point. Thousands of people started showing up at Fort Monroe to claim their freedom. It became known as Freedom Fortress Monroe. And by the end of the Civil War in 1865, there were over 10,000 people living in or around Fort Monroe.
Oh, wow.
And what we want to see is a 21st century contraband camp be there at Fort Monroe. 400 housing units that would be permanent or temporary for anybody who needs support at this point. Homeless people, veterans, disabled, and the people, the artists working with Juneteenth VA, you know, because we're going to be there as reenactors and, you know, presenting, you know, this history. And so to get a Fort Monroe, to get this contraband camp, that needs the approval of the federal level. I've talked to Bobby Scott, everybody, he's down for it. And McCullough, he's down for it. That's what, you know, when I told him about it when he was governor, he said, get it done while I'm governor. And I didn't get it done while he was governor the first time, which is why, you know, I want to see him become governor a second time.
Okay.
Because, you know, he got it in terms of the importance of it. So,
well, he may win then because, you know, a lot of people, that's what we're out there trying to get Carol Foy's name out. But, you know, all around in the little crevices and cracks, they know McCullough's name.
Right.
They're not going to know Carol Foy.
But if she makes a good run at it, then she'll be
that's
set
what
up
we're doing.
for
We
the
out here and we
4 years.
We get ready to beat. We get ready to knock on 69,000 doors.
Yeah, I mean, if she makes a good run of it, then she'll be the governor after McCullough has his second term. it'll be 4 years, but she'll be the one.
Oh
best
yeah, she won't
positioned-
get it this time.
Right.
She'll get it the following
But she'll
time.
be positioned to get it the next time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that'll be.
Yeah, because when I saw his name up there, it's like a neon thing. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gonna win.
But
if she
that's
can
all right.
make her
We'll
aware.
be supporting him too, because after we support our candidate, they don't win. We support
Right.
whoever's the Democratic team.
Right. So Fort Monroe, in terms of it being the contraband camp set up there, basically that would turn Fort Monroe into the fourth point of the historic triangle. We go from Jamestown, Columbia, Williamsburg, Yorktown, Fort Monroe. So the historic triangle becomes a historic diamond. Because if you don't include Fort Monroe in terms of telling the founding of this nation,
Right.
then you're not telling the whole story.
Okay.
So, and this history is unique to us. Only the birth of America could only it happened here, and nobody else can duplicate that or take that away from us. So we have to be the stewards of this history.
Okay.
And so this Fort Monroe contraband camp is going to be kind of like, the pinnacle
Okay.
of, what
Wow,
needs
you
to
just gave
happen.
the birth of America.
Mhm.
That would be a good documentary to show, because you couldn't show everything, but you could show a little bit of all of it
You're right.
here in Virginia. The birth of America. Yeah.
You're so
yeah.
right
So what was
about
that other movie that was made?
Birth
The
of
Birth
a
of a
Nation.
Nation. So the birth of
Yeah,
America.
write that down. 'Cause
Birth of
that's-
America.
Birth of America. That's good. We're going to use that.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. The birth of America.
That would be nice. I mean, I'm a documentary watcher.
Me too.
So I would just be like, what? I mean, that's how I am now. I watch some stuff. I'm like, what does it? And then I'm like, I'm like on my phone. I'm just like, I need to put that out there on Facebook. Do anybody know about this stuff? Like, why is nobody talking about this stuff?
Do you watch C-SPAN 3?
No.
Oh, you need to.
Okay.
Because C-SPAN has 3 channels. And
Yes.
The third, C-SPAN 3, they do documentaries, historical films that have been basically paid for by the military and oftentimes not very good. But, but the documentaries.
I'll do that because I'm
Check it
always
out.
going down. And I watch the craziest thing. Like, I watched the how food in America became, I watched that whole series about everything, how they made everything. And I'm just like, I watch all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one, definitely. And so that's definitely the whole contraband camp, is most people just kind of like, no, that's not possible, but I've talked to an architect and as I said,
you already know where the area is that it would be. Are you going to use a building that's already there, rehab it?
Well, initially, I was part of a collective of 10 organizations that wrote a letter to Governor Northam back in 2019, asking for a building to be dedicated, to these organizations. And what they've done is they've created the visitors center, and they want to say, "This is your building," kind of thing like that,
Okay.
But it was never any kind of official kind of like you asked for a building and now this is your building. It's simply like
How big is the visitors building?
we need to go over and see it one day. Actually,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
told that recently because I haven't seen enough. Been just so. First of all, I didn't have any transportation for a long time, but I need to go see the building. So let's make
Yeah.
that go do that one day.
Definitely.
Okay, sure, y'all want to see the promos?
Yeah, I want to take you to take a look at some promos with me.
Okay.
I want you to tell me which ones can be sent in.
Okay. We're ready. Let me just screen up here.
Oh, okay. So who all you got working with you on this?
On the
I'm watching the program now.
very skeleton crew thus far.
Okay.
Darlene being overworked tremendously.
What? You overworking, darling?
of Juneteenth be. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame.
Basically, she's the camera crew, the camera editing, producing.
This one right here, because I think this is the one you wanted.
Are watching programming from Juneteenth VA. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame.
Okay, and that one's in.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are people up there, those interviews that they're gonna be working with you. Greg,
Right.
Jared Nail.
Those are actors.
Oh, okay.
And people wear several hats. Greg is like the historian, he's a historian at the Portland Public Library.
Oh, okay,
And so, he plays Abraham Lincoln,
okay,
but he also does a lot of, research and so forth like that.
okay.
Yeah. Because one of the podcasts I want to do is that Abraham Lincoln talking to everyday people and other historical figures,
Okay.
you know?
Hi, my name is Sherry Bailey, and I'm the founder of Juneteenth Vision. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame. We are advocating for Fort Monroe to be designated as a national venue for conversations about race and development of anti-racist policies. Fort Monroe has a special place in American history because it is where, in 1619, the first of the Africans who came into this country were settled, at Jamestown. 248 years later, in that same location, you had the first of the enslaved who gained their freedom at Fort Monroe. So because of this history, Fort Monroe has a special place in American history, and we believe that it should be elevated to the same status as the historic triangle of Jamestown, Yorktown, and colonial Williamsburg. Without telling the full story of America's founding, without Fort Monroe, we're not telling the complete story, the truth about American history.
Is that one ready to go?
I think so. I mean,
All of them not ready to
Hi,
go.
my name is Sherry Bailey.
we just need one of them though, right?
I'm the founder of
And just can use that
Juneteenth.
over and over, right?
Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of
Okay,
slavery
but I mean, in
without
terms
shame.
of what I want to be able to get it set up on the
This is difficult history
website.
that we
And then I have
believe is important for us.
Hey there, Connie.
How y'all doing?
Doing well.
That
How
is
are
what
you?
we do.
I know y'all surprised to see me on Saturday.
Really? It got me all thrown off and
I was
confused.
trying to sneak in, I didn't say, I went over to the mall.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's easier for me to leave my bike and just walk down and get on the curb.
You mean the Carca Mall?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I'm sorry. So you're saying that,
All right, each promotion is supposed to have a different, word is different, and each of them are different. They're not saying the same thing over and over again.
yeah,
So you could use all of them over and over again, but they're different.
gotcha. But, okay, so once we set it up, like what's on the website?
Have a good one.
Okay, you take care,
All
Johnny.
right.
So we set it up and we can, on the website. Then it would be the same thing every time unless I changed it.
You can put all the promos up there at once, because there's 9 of them. Or you can put one up there, over and over again, that's up to you.
I'm having a hard time figuring. So like, okay, you're watching television and you see a commercial. It's generally the same commercial, right?
It's different commercial, but it's the same. But you want the same commercial up there, you just want one up and down come on.
I think so. Well, let me see,
You put it
no.
on the website, so like if I click on that and you'll be sharing that information, I can hear that.
Mhm.
And then do you want another one that either, I don't know if it'll loop or how you guys, the next one will come up, or if it's somewhere where if I click on it, you're saying something else. You know, you're saying something else, so,
Yeah, what you
Yeah,
can do is like have a video,
Uh-huh.
put it for promo, have another video, put it for promo,
Mhm.
have another video, put it for promo.
so you,
Okay.
yeah, so maybe like 3 or 4
Yeah, no, I know,
or 2.
that finally helped me understand what we're talking about here, okay. So, yeah, let's use them all,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
You
a
know.
couple of them I have to cut,
Okay,
or I'm not gonna send because one of them says exactly what you want to
Hi,
say.
my name is Sherry Gale.
And the
yeah,
other
these
one-
can be sprinkled out
Yeah.
wherever, and, okay, that's
Our
fine,
mission
yeah,
is
that's,
to help
yeah.
America heal,
Y'all leave the website too.
No, that's Janet, who's based in New York.
This is difficult
Oh,
history
okay.
that we believe is important. for
Yeah,
us
let me
to
give you
be
some more
able to
names.
talk about.
Lisa
And that is what we do
is
here
our
at
counselor.
Houston Theater Arts.
Okay, that one.
Janet does the website, and she also has set up a GoFundMe
Oh, okay,
that's raised about $1,300.
okay.
But it needs to be overseen. It needs to be somebody to like keep it a daily kind of interaction. She's a little too busy for that. Who else? We got AZ Wyatt.
What is
He's on the construction side of things, logistical kind of things. He works a lot with Jimmy, who, I don't know if did you meet Jimmy? White guy over the building?
Was he always over there, like working?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And,
He works at ADY.
well, Jimmy's who I knew first.
Uh-huh.
But AZ came around later, but AZ is someone who can keep Jimmy on course.
Okay.
And he's a social worker
Oh,
in
okay.
his real world, in his real life, and just real dependable. And he's,
ADY.
yeah,
Okay.
and new to all of this. So I want to have him, I see him as, I need to rebuild the board,
Okay.
and I see him as a board member,
Okay.
you know. So that's AZ. Lisa, CPA, based out of Richmond. Janet, doing website, and GoFundMe.
So what is ADY doing right now at the moment?
Well, we had to get all of Jimmy's stuff out of the theater, a couple of, like in
Jimmy was
Jan,
living there?
he was living there,
Okay.
yeah, and he had a lot of stuff, looked like Fred Sanford's
Oh
backyard.
my God.
Yeah, he's like a pack rat.
How can you be a homeless pack rat?
It ain't easy, but he was able to do it.
So is somebody still working over there in the building?
No, it's, all of our stuff is out and everything like that at this point, and, we have to renegotiate the contract, and, which is fine, because it was not a good contract.
The lease.
The lease, right, and that's being renegotiated as we speak. Oh, that's another person, Richard Guy is, the attorney.
Okay. You doing a lot of stuff pro bono?
He, gave, the $500 retainer, and, his hourly rate is down to like 150. As opposed to,
Unacceptable.
huh?
Unacceptable. I'm teaching my new word yesterday, and I'm teaching everybody. It's called pro bono, because everybody I know is doing something, like Barbara's doing her coaching,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So what I'm telling people is, give them a little bit of stuff pro bono, and then I'm like, y'all know what that means? For free.
Mhm. Mhm.
We used to be doing this pro bono and writing it off. You know
Well,
that.
yeah, well, I did sign up for Legal Shield.
He know better
Well, you know,
And see, that's, okay, that was me in the big, I mean, every time they took me to the bankers, to the bonding company, they always, and they say something like that, and I say, unacceptable. I did exactly what I did, and then they say, huh? And I was like, you should be doing this pro bono. I mean, okay, so that's how, I mean, I'm just listening,
Okay.
right? And then I'm,
I want you by my
you should
side.
be doing this for free because you can write this off, and this is are you, what's your organization?
We're 501c3.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, you can go through the whole thing because he went to, he said, my firm is not gonna let me do it for free. He did say he would do it for free, but his firm would not let him do it.
Okay.
He didn't ask them. And so what the compromise was is that he was able to reduce this rate to, you know, like 150.
Okay, then what you should do is whatever the rate is, you should donate the money. You know, he should donate the money. You should donate the money to pay it. He should donate the money
Well, we'll see what happens.
and write it off. I mean, oh my God. Okay.
And he is the husband, actually, of one of our state delegates, Nancy Guy,
Okay.
FYI. And that's how I got him, because I called her and I said, look, are you a lawyer? And she's like, oh, I went to law school, but I don't practice. And she said, my husband's a lawyer.
Okay.
And so that's how it ended up that he, you know.
Okay, so what you needed was, you needed to go to a firm, you needed to be talking to the person who was the owner of the firm, and then that way they could do it for free.
Well, you know, once we're in the building and, you know, up and up bottom and everything like that, I think they'll be.
I don't think that enough people know about, Juneteenth VA, because I think there's a lot of people, even in peer enforcement, that, would, participate, and support, this initiative, but if they just don't know about it.
But,
Yeah, they just don't know about it.
well, and you're comfortable with social media kind of stuff like that, I mean, in terms of getting it all kind of set up or whatever?
No,
No, okay.
but guess what?
Mm.
I got a person,
No.
she's a social media manager. What she do, she got her own company, she just won, she's Miss World USA. And I'm actually working for her in the canvassing. But that's her, and I am sending her so many clients, and I also talked to her yesterday, and she's the only one I know that like at 4 o'clock in the morning, when I'm looking at, stuff on social media, and I'm, you know, responding or making comments or liking their pictures, and then she'll send me a text. She's the only person I know that's up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm up at 4 a lot.
But, and her rates are really, 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 really beautiful. As a matter of fact, you had mentioned something about a stipend. I was even thinking about it. You had told me about social media.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of way I was gonna get it done
Mhm.
with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can do this stuff while like, I hooked her up with, Barbara. Yeah, she's young and she's sharp. She can, manage her social media while she at a red light. I mean, that's how good she is. You know, these young people.
Yeah.
I be like, T,
Right.
O, you know, that's how I test.
Right.
They be like,
Right.
I be like, why?
Right.
And don't let the talking, they said talking. I say, send a text to Darlene, and I look at the thing and he said, the dog is lead. I'm like, that ain't what I said.
Right.
So I don't talk it, cause that girl, I call that girl, I said, that girl she be saying whatever she wanna say. She be sending texts and saying anything.
Yeah, that stuff is just kind of, and we're the last generation to like get away with it, to be like this, because like my daughter, from the time she was like a year old, and we have a picture of her like 18 months old sitting on a stack of books in front of a computer.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. But yeah, I could do a little bit of, she's like really, like, I have to think about it. And remember I told you that, you know, I'm an advocate for, that was one of the things in project management that I did, that I would see people, like, I could see what you're good at.
Mm.
I was the assistant facility manager.
Mm.
in Norfolk for this, for the Norfolk Fitness and Wellness Center.
Mhm.
And the boss, she was so busy, but she was putting out she had put out the newsletter, the weekly schedule, you know, it had to be graphic and looking nice, because this is like a wellness place and the public. She was so overwhelmed, but we had the receptionist at the front desk. Girl, that girl was craft central. She was one of the people that she just
Mhm.
and you be looking like you just wiped off your desk. Why is it all you got like flowers growing out of it and stuff like that? And she could make all kind of graphic stuff and everything. So I had to tell the boss that, you know, you're controlling. We got somebody that can do that effortlessly. They don't even think about it. They just blink and then you got this beautiful, this is April and showers and flowers and all that kind of stuff. I said, just let her do it. And then therefore she became the person
Okay.
that took care of the
Right.
calendar. Because she would do it like, well, where's
Effortlessly.
the calendar? Oh, here. You give it to me, I'm like,
Right.
okay, where's the flowers?
Right. Yeah, but you know how to put together the pieces to make it all work. That's really
Yes.
important.
Yeah, that's what I kind of like that. That's what made me the Jane of all trades, because when I become a millionaire, I ain't doing nothing but my bookkeeper, my accountant, they can't steal from me. You know why? Because I've been a full charge bookkeeper. So I'm gonna watch the book. I know how to cook the, I know all this stuff. I'm gonna watch the book. I know how to watch the book. If you come and do some work in my house, I know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I like, you know, just a little bit to be, that's what saved my life. That's what saved my life. That is what saved my life.
Right.
I was on dialysis for 6 months. I don't know if you hear me telling her. And dialysis, it was killing me. And, I just started researching. And then what happened was, when you're on dialysis, everybody that's on dialysis in the United States, the government got your name on the list. The government got your name, they got your name on the list, they watching you. I guess they waiting on you to die or something like that. They watching you. So, but what they do is, they got different things going on. So what I did, when I went to the dialysis place, and I'm like, something is wrong because I'm sicker when I leave here than I was when I came. Something is wrong. Then I just started using all those acronyms. Do I need to call it NIDC or you and the national such and such according to this? And then the doctor's like, oh, you got to be on dialysis for 4 hours. And I was like, well, according to the National Kidney Foundation, this, I mean, I just started, I read enough to get enough where I throw it out at them, and then they're like, oh, she knows something. And then they talk back to me in on that level. But if I hadn't did that, I'd be dead. Because that dialysis has killed me. I was telling her, the machine takes fluid out of your body. I don't have no fluid. I had suffered from high blood pressure for over 20 years, 10 years on medication. And I said, so I'm real careful about I know that I don't let myself get puffy. I'm like, oh Lord, I ate too much salt, you know, I'm puffy. So I don't really carry any excess fluid. But the machine on the dialysis, it takes your fluid. There's nothing they can do. They can put it on the lowest setting. It takes your fluid. And that's what made me sick. And I was like, something ain't right. And then I started researching. Like I said, I used all the right keywords. And then they listened to me. I told them, I was like, do I need to call the national, wherever it was that they got all the dialysis people? Because I sure was. I was going to call them up. I did a little bit of research. Over that kidney thing. I was telling them everything.
So
and look, check this out. I don't even know where the kidney is. Is it here? I don't even know where it is.
Somewhere down there, huh? So when you were taking dialysis, were you doing like the rigid? I know people who go like 3 times a week. Were you going?
I was going 3 times. I went Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow.
Yeah, they hook you up to the machine and sit there. People just be sleep and everything. I kept my eyes open because they coming in there. They putting all kinds of stuff. I'm over there with a needle and they get the machines. I say, hold up. What is that? Don't put nothing in me I didn't come here with.
Wow. I've got a friend, she's on dialysis and that right now, and she's been in a state of just, just ill health for a couple years now.
And even when you're on dialysis, you gotta do what you gotta do to stay healthy. I had people in dialysis, they were coming to dialysis with the big, soda.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know, I was on dialysis, praise God, I was, able to, I still can. I didn't know that there are people that they don't, y'all, there are people that don't pee, they can't pee.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Mm.
You know, I did not know that. So now, when I get up in the middle of the night 24 times,
Right.
because I drink a lot of water, because I have got my water to here, I just say, thank you, Lord, thank you that I did pee. Because there's people that I would think that that's a horrible, then they go to dialysis, and then dialysis takes all their fluid out. Then they go home and drink a whole lot of beer, a whole lot of soda, Pepsi, and then it's all, and then they go to dialysis, and dialysis takes it out.
It's rough.
And your diet, they gotta up their diet. I really was on my diet with the dialysis. They gotta watch their diet. But we have come to a place in time, which is so sad that it takes a lot of work to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And in the old days, you would just get up and crack a dime, go out, do your work, whatever it was. You ate hearty, but you worked. And now it's just totally different. I mean, even me, just every day, like I gotta drink 100 ounces of water a day, and I'm just like, oh, how many? I can keep count of that, and then try to eat healthy. Like, oh my God, did I eat fiber today? I make oatmeal cookies, so that if I was like, oh, did I eat any fiber today? I got my oatmeal cookies. I'll eat a couple of those, and that gives me my fiber. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, I didn't eat any green vegetables. I didn't eat fruit. I didn't do this. And thinking about that, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't exercise.
It's a
So
lot.
my doctor, he said, you work? I said, yeah. He said, where you work at? I said, I work for an organization called Staying Alive. Yeah. You get it, yay! I'm serious, it's a lot of work.
It is.
And I'm like, we ain't doing something right, but we just best we can do.
Well, and I tell them, the show Survivors, it really is going to be exactly that, showing people that, you gotta put some effort into it, but it can be done, I mean, I was listening to something on NPR a few weeks ago, and basically, they found the youth, in terms of, people being able to live to be 120 easily.
Yeah, I believe my mom is gonna live to be 120. She's 81, and I'm telling you, she's very fit. She's very fit, and I'm finding out things like it's been over 50 years since she ate meat. And I remember as a little girl, I mean, she was always cooking meat, but now I'm thinking about it, she would make like meat and stuff with gravy, but then she would eat, and she would just eat like the potatoes and some gravy. And I always just thought that maybe she was making sure that, it was more for somebody else. I didn't realize that she was never a meat eater. I mean, I started eating chicken and fish, but pork and beef, she said she stopped eating that. Well, she's 81, and she said it's been over 50 years since she eats a meat cross. I was like, dang, she don't have no body fat. I mean, she is just like really, and she's strong. She's real strong, because she used to play a lot of golf, and she walks her 18 holes. She used to only play with men, because she said men that taught her to hit hard and longer, but she played with men. So I try not to be around her, because then she's like, oh, he need to do something about it. I'm like, look, lady, I live a hard life.
So you got those genes though, huh?
Yes. Yeah, that's how I know. I tell people, I'm serious. You don't understand. People discriminate against you if they think that you're young. They think, because even on those construction companies, everywhere I've ever been, I had to And then when I get up and speak, whoa,
Mhm.
because they're thinking I'm just some little, oh,
Right.
you know,
You're invisible to them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've had that experience.
I had worked in a construction company, and the guy kept calling me, what did he call me? Little girl or baby or something like that. And I had put him straight. Let him know. I said, look, and I just told him, I said, by virtue of chronological age, there's no way I can be considered a baby.
Mhm.
That's what that was my defense. Like, hey, look, mister, I can't be a baby. Don't call me baby because. You know, I'm 36 years old, and there's no way I could be a baby.
Mhm.
So I brought it to him like that. Sternly,
Right.
but I used
He didn't
that.
forget, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, and then it got so bad working with all of, and I work with a lot of men,
Mhm.
and I would say, and they treated me very respectfully. To the point where when we did start hiring women, and they were all dating, I was like, what about me?
Mhm.
I said, why ain't nobody gonna take me on a date? They're like, oh no, we'll mess with you. Not only did they not mess with me, they didn't let nobody else mess with me. They hire me, they come in, hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. They show up, what you need, buddy? You need something from her? I'm like, well, you just having a conversation, introduce yourself. Nah, you don't need me in here. They ran everybody out. So you were just doing those are videos that were the video that she just was showing you. You gonna put that on the website?
Yeah, I got two already that she approved.
Okay.
Yeah, sure is.
Can we see, let me see the, Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. We've already, that's loaded, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So do you have a website? I mean, a Facebook. What do you have? Social media, Instagram.
We have,
I mean, Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook, definitely.
And you gotta get Instagram. You gotta get Instagram because I keep my ears open. I just listen.
Mhm.
And the young people, they going away from Facebook.
Yeah, big time. My daughter
Yeah,
tells me that all
But
the
they
time.
are on Instagram, and a lot of, Instagram is,
TikTok.
yeah, TikTok is, I don't have TikTok, I'm scared of TikTok, I'll be like, yeah, but.
TikTok is like, you have to be like less than like a minute or something like that.
Yeah, I got up there a couple of times,
Okay.
but, it's not a perfect video.
But yeah, Instagram and, Instagram, you definitely gotta be on Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
So I could, make sure you get on Instagram, and, you have a page on Facebook?
We have a Facebook page, and then I have a Sherry Daily page that I work out mostly. I don't work out a Facebook page. Do we have a Facebook page?
Yeah, I have a Facebook.
I do too, yeah.
I guess we could, Barbara would know exactly all of that. And, yeah.
Programming from Juneteenth to VA. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame.
Greetings, Mr. Lincoln.
Good day, Madam.
I am honored to be able to perform the Gettysburg Address with you today.
It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Indeed, indeed. I see it as probably more than a speech, it's a poem.
My poor merits. I was afraid that speech just didn't scour. I'm glad that you have a higher opinion of it than I do myself.
Indeed, I do. Young sir, I would appreciate the opportunity to recite it with you, and I will take your lead here.
My pleasure, Madam. 77 years ago,
our founders brought forth on this continent a new nation,
conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men
people are created equal.
Now we are engaged in a great civil war,
testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure.
We are met on a great battlefield of that war.
We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live.
It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate,
We cannot consecrate.
we cannot hallow this ground. The brave souls living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our power to add or detract.
The world will little note nor long remember what we say here.
But it can never forget what they did here.
It is for us, the living rather, to take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain,
And that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom
and that government of the people,
by the people,
for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Oh, you did that here?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay,
I like how you put the images in there.
I found the fund, I found it in the audio.
My name is Sherry Bailey, the founder of Juneteenth VA. We are in the process of building a new theater in downtown Old Town Portsmouth. It will be called the Portsmouth Theater Academy, and we will teach people how to be historical reenactors, like you will find in Jamestown and Colonial Williamsburg, as well as actors on a Broadway stage. Our goal is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame, and you are welcome to be a part of what we're doing. And we also need folks who want to be a part of what we do in terms of just running a theater. If you're interested, please join us. Right now, we are headquartered at the church across the street from the theater, because that is being rehabbed. And we are honored and really blessed to be here at Trinity Episcopal Church, located at 500 Court Street in downtown Portsmouth. Hi, my name is Sherry Bailey, and I'm the founder of Juneteenth VA. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame.
Well, this one, I think I did this one twice. It was on the first time.
Well, that should be the just kind of like the fallback one, because as long as it says without shame or blame, then that's all we need. Because when you do like PSAs and stuff, sometimes you have like a 10-second, 15-second, you know, so they're very much, so that one where it just goes, Sherry Bailey and ends with without shame or blame. I want that to be the default one.
Okay.
Okay.
You are watching programming from Juneteenth VA. Our mission is to help America heal from the wounds of slavery without shame or blame.
So you want that, because that's the same thing, but this word is different. You want both of them?
They were worded differently?
Same thing. That one says you're watching program from Juneteenth VA.
And the other one doesn't say that? Yeah, either one of them actually. I don't think I wrote it down.
Okay, so you haven't posted since February the 3rd.
On the
But
Facebook
that
page?
was, but that was good what you posted though, because, one of the things I know from watching the documentary, one of the things that, Obama was doing in the background, he was trying to get the Indian nation to recognize, the Black Indians. And, what they did was, finally, he got them to, they said, okay, we'll recognize them, but they can't have the money.
Mm.
So he was trying to get them to be able to get the money too.
Right,
So he was working on that. That was something he was working on behind the
Right,
scenes.
right,
He was also working on the census because, I guess you probably know, but people don't realize on the census that they have, Black, African-American, African, like, the different classifications.
Mhm.
Like if you're Black, it's like you're Nigerian, okay, you're counted as white.
What?
So they don't count, that's what I'm saying, people don't know this on the census. If you're like from Africa, and you live here,
Mm-hmm.
then you're counted in the white, with the white. That's why it's such a small amount. And if you're Egyptian, they got all those people, all those categories, they lump them in with the white. They don't lump them in with only the African
I mean, how do you even
Americans.
do that? Amazing.
That's what, so Obama, he was working behind the scenes to get them to accurately classify the census.
Right.
Because they're not, I'm telling you, I live in Texas, all them Nigerians that live there, all those Africans, when they check on the census, they are counted as white. The only ones they count as black is the African Americans. That's why we get less federal funding and stuff, we're not even being accurately represented.
Wow.
Even after they're United States citizens?
No, not if they're, if they're citizens, they get counted. But if you're a Nigerian, they don't count you, you're not classified in with the blacks, you're classified with the whites.
Wow. Man, that is
Yeah.
just unethical and wrong.
Exactly, and he was
Program
working
that
on
you
that,
are
they were
watching
fighting him on
now.
that too.
They fought him on everything,
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. Wow.
Is from 12 Days of Turner. 12 Days of Turner follow the last days of insurrectionist Nat Turner on August.
Would be Ed Ayers,
Ed Ayers,
yeah, Ayers, and he is a historian of national repute, and he has written a letter in support of the contraband camp. So his name is one that Kane and Warner would recognize.
oh, okay.
And everybody who I'm talking about, I would want to make sure that they know about April 9th announcement. I'm looking at April 9th as being announcing some kind of a press conference kind of event that would be streamed. We can do streaming.
Okay.
And
I say the news outlets are gonna be there.
we want them to be.
Okay, Channel 10,
Mhm.
Wavy,
Mhm.
get Wavy because their headquarters is important.
So, got to give them something to be excited about. And I don't know if making an announcement about the Juneteenth 2021 season is it, but you
Well,
know,
so April 9th, you said that was, what are you doing then?
we're going to be at Portsmouth City Park,
Right.
and we're going to do streaming. I'm really interested in the people who I want to work with the festival and everything like that to
Okay.
come out and be supportive, whether it be virtually or in person.
Okay.
But I want to kind of make it a kind of a splashy event in terms of announcing, and we're back after the virus and, this is what we're going to be doing, and that would be talking about the fact that we're going to be doing the play. We're going to be doing the second year of 12 Days of Turner, which will come in October and November. And we're going to have an event that's going to celebrate the 13th Amendment in December.
Okay.
21st,
Calendar would be-
1831.
So do you have a calendar?
We do not, this is beginning to make the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you already started on,
In my head.
oh, you don't have it on the thing?
No,
Okay.
it's gotta get done.
Well, that's cute. The calendar, because it's just, you just get information and just plug it in.
It's easy, yeah, if you can get it done, yeah. I can think about stuff a lot.
Yeah, I probably need to, my computer is acting up at home, I gotta see if I need to take that to get fixed, but other than that, yeah, calendar, I can do calendar easy, stuff. You come up with events, so just, and then once I mostly do everything on my phone, but, I'm gonna need to get my computer,
Okay,
up to date. I might have to buy a new computer, I might do that. But, yeah, my computer's acting up.
There's a young woman named Louisa Black, who I just made contact with recently. She had written me a letter, actually, tried to contact me in a letter dated March 1st, email dated March 1st. And finally just got in touch with her about a week ago. and she was proposing to do a calendar.
Oh, yes.
So, her name needs to be on the list.
Okay, well, she, Louisa Black for the calendar. Okay, well, look, girl, I'm telling you, the calendar is like the easiest thing to do.
Well, the calendar we were talking about was gonna be like one of those coffee table calendars where you can, it would be an 18-month calendar from June 2021 through December of 2022.
Uh-huh.
So that's the calendar I'm talking about. I thought we were talking about a calendar in terms of like the organizational kind of like calendar.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking two different calendars.
Yes, and even the other one, that's easy, it's still easy.
Okay. I like that you
So
emphasize
you just plug in
that.
the dates and it just you just plug in your information and it
Right.
automatically, you know,
Right.
be printed out. You know, you choose what format you want it to be in
Right.
and, that's how it's gonna go.
Well, her original idea for a calendar, and I want to do this down the road, is more kind of, almost something like an almanac in terms of the kind of information that she wanted to include in terms of the calendar. She's a landscaper, so that was one of the kind of driving points for her, I think. But anyway, I look forward to talking to
Okay,
her.
well, I'm like, look, okay, so what's the holdup?
No, it's just, no, waiting on you to get to, to get with you so we can start getting this stuff organized.
Okay.
That's what's been.
Yeah, we get the calendar done.
I've been talking about getting with you for like since
That's
Christmas.
the information, that's all she needs, cause she just plug that in. Like, you call tomorrow, she's like, oh, on that day, let's plug it in.
Like, she's gonna try to be, at the city park next Friday.
Okay,
She's generally working, but she's gonna ask for time off to
Okay.
be there. Same thing with Lisa, the CPA.
okay,
So she's gonna try to be there because we
okay.
need to do.
And I can be
paperwork.
there because I don't start working till 1.
Perfect.
So I'll be there. And even if I didn't, I would still come because, the lady that I'm working with, the young lady, she's involved in a lot of stuff and
Mhm.
I'm involved in a lot, I'm getting involved in a lot of stuff and, I'm not really, I like the money.
Right.
I like the, but it's something I would do for free. I'm in this stage of life where whatever I do, I say, would I do this for free? And then I just do it because if it's something that you do for free,
Right.
and then somebody gives you some money, it's just like, whoa, ooh. Cause you went and did it, like, oh.
Anyway, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not going to, it ain't no career. It's just like, hey, I'll do this and I'm really, my thing is, I want to talk to the people because, I want them to understand that, because I didn't understand it, but I want them to understand that that it's very important for them to choose
Mhm.
who we gonna be able to vote for governor. That's what we doing now.
Mhm.
Don't make it complicated.
Mhm.
We just trying to choose who the person is that we gonna get a choice to vote for.
Exactly.
Whose name is gonna go on the list
Right.
against the opponent.
Right.
Who we gonna choose as our fighter.
Yeah. Right.
That's just, I'm with, whatever, I have to break it down. I'm trying to learn Spanish because, the, organization I with, they work with the Latinx.
I'll tell you my Spanish story one day, but, I
You guys tell me in Spanish.
The programming that you are watching now is from the 12 Days of Turner. 12 Days of Turner follow the last days of insurrectionist Nat Turner. Nat Turner on August 21st, 1831, launched the first battle of the Civil War, or as we call it here, the War Against Slavery, WAS. The War Against Slavery started with the Nat Turner insurrection August 21st, 1831, and did not end until
War Against Slavery, the words,
1877, over 30 years later.
either the top or above my head or. So that's another, we're reframing American history.
Okay.
The Civil War, it was really the war against slavery.
It sure was, and I just learned that just this year.
Okay, well, our definition is that the war against slavery started in 1831 with the Nat Turner insurrection and went 45 years into the future to 1877, which represented when Reconstruction ended. Federal troops were pulled back from the southern camps, and which allowed for the rise of KKK and Jim Crow. So the war against slavery, WAS, 1831 to 1877, is our definition of the Civil War. the Civil War was part of the war against slavery.
Okay.
But it was literally started with the insurrection of Nat Turner, because white people got killed, and that was the beginning of the war. That was the battle. Second battle was the 1857 Dred Scott, U.S. Supreme Court Dred Scott decision.
Mm-hmm.
Third battle was John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Civil War from 1861 to 65, and then Reconstruction, and then the end of Reconstruction in 1877. So that is our framing for the war against slavery.
Okay.
And, you know, as with all introduction of new information and everything like that, or a new perspective, there'll be resistance to it. So, but be that as it may, you know.
Oh, but if you tell the history, I mean, it's historical history, so, you know, you can go against it if you want to,
Right.
but it's what it is,
It
what
is.
happened.
It is
Now,
exactly.
what it is.
Exactly.
All right, and so what exactly?
Our mission is to help America heal.
Well, I want you to, there are a lot of moving pieces, and I need help to kind of get it in order.
Okay.
Particular follow-through is a real need for me, you know, make great initial contact.
You want me to try to assist you?
Yes,
Okay.
in terms of the, you know, helping me stay on track and making sure the pieces don't fall through the cracks.
Okay.
That happens a lot with me, you know. It's just
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's what it is.
A lot of good resources that get lost.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I forget about them, or, you know,
Right,
they're not right in
right.
front of me,
Right.
something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I can do that. So where do you get your funding from?
Right now, we just got $5,000 from a foundation in Minnesota, and that came through. I have a friend who works for the city of Portsmouth, and his brother has a foundation, and so he, you know, sent the information about Juneteenth to his brother, and we got a check for $5,000.
Okay, well, you know what? All these local celebrities and stuff here in this area, I mean, you need to reach out to them too. Missy Elliott, I mean, y'all know that she's still, you know, Missy Elliott, and what's that other guy's name? His name is out in the press for real because he's a big Virginia Beach person, but, you know, we're talking about the whole thing, but they all need to.
His follow-up in terms of, I've been trying to reach Pharrell, and I've been going through he's a former NFL football player who was on the Virginia Beach Council, Aaron Rouse. And I talked to him and sent him a couple emails, but that's been like months ago, kind of thing like that. But I asked him, could he, you know, get me 15 minutes with Pharrell? And he said yes. And now it's to make him do it, you know.
Right, you gotta stay on top of his head, that's all.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to help out,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just a matter of timing
Okay.
all the time because
Well, I got a phone
there's
number
so much
for him.
stuff going on and that your thing, it just keeps getting pushed out. Cause I'm the same way, my office at home, I got stuff that it has to be out, so I can see it.
Right.
When I put it away,
Disappears.
it's not an action
Right.
item
Right.
anymore.
Right.
If I put it, but as long as it's out, it's still an action item.
So if you put Aaron Ross's name down there, then I'll give you his phone number,
Okay.
and that way we can follow up on that.
Okay.
So let me look at here, because it's 3:15, so I've got to go get my shot at 4:15.
Okay, yeah, and I gotta
You got
get
it?
it out.
All right, so basically.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get you'll be calling me and say, hey, and then I can get on top of it.
Okay, yeah, like all of the names that I give you, I want you to have their email and phone number.
Okay.
As much as I have it, so.
So you'll send me the information as you get it. I'll give you my email or text.
Okay,
I prefer text.
okay.
Yeah.
And then the social media, person, I definitely would love to.
Okay, so tell me what you're looking for on social, which you want?
Well, I mean, I think that
You just want somebody to do the posting, you want somebody to fix, what are you looking for?
I'm looking to be, social media, relevant, you know, and I'm looking to,
Okay.
like the Facebook situation. We got, I guess, the Facebook, page, but I also have 6 other pages, on Facebook, you know. And
What are the 6 other pages?
so one of them is like the Black Panther page, you know, and,
Okay, but the main, right now, Juneteenth VA is the page that you're gonna focus on, right?
I imagine so, yeah.
I mean, because the other ones are not relevant to,
The Black Panther page gets a lot of hits. It needs to be.
what's it about?
Well, I have a play about Black Panthers, but it's also about the movement itself, almost kind of documentary information about it.
I love the Black Panthers. I was talking to Barbara one day, and she said she didn't know anything about them, because I said, I remember. And I was like, I'm only a couple of years older than her, but I remember the Black Panthers. I remember them. I lived in Kansas City. I didn't live here, but yeah, I remember them marching through the neighborhood. I remember the National Guard being out. I remember the Black Panthers because I don't know where they got all them leather jackets from. They was some fine people. Them black turtlenecks, all of them had the black turtlenecks and leather jackets. I'm like, where all they get all that funny leather jackets? They was looking good.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and they were mostly teenagers, you know?
Yeah, and they were doing good stuff.
The free lunch program actually started with the.
I heard, that's what I was gonna say, did they do free lunch or I don't know which one of yours, there's so many Black Panther. I was trying to search them. Oh, I'm not even on Facebook, that's why.
And so, and currently, right now, I'm trying to put together a production of my play about the Black Panthers in Oakland.
Well, I tell you what I need for social media. I need what are you trying to do? Which pages you want, monitored? Who's posting them now? Who's updating them now?
No one really.
Okay, so, and your content, what you want posted, that's all. That is all.
Now, see, under the Sherry Daily, I do a news feed with pictures.
So you're keeping that one up?
I'm keeping that one up.
Okay, well, the list of the ones that you need, that you're not keeping up, that you need kept up.
Do you do Facebook every day? You get on it every day?
Yes, I do, but what I do with Facebook, I'm actually, weaning myself off of it in the morning. Because what happens is I'll get on it and I look up in 3 or 4 hours in advance. So early in the morning after I do my devotion and stuff, I'll look on it and, because a lot of people are, doing marketing, you know, they're selling things, stuff like that. So I do a lot of, sharing of their stuff. And, so I'll do that a little bit. And then, sometimes, like this morning, I looked up an hour and a half had passed. And I looked at that, puts me behind for the day. So, yeah, I check it I check it once or twice a day, and if I'm at an appointment, then I'll just sit there and just look at it while I'm making it. But yeah, I'm definitely,
So we're not friends.
and I have my own, no, I'll send you a friend request so I can, and then I have my own page, which I'm trying to work on that, it's called Live Free, Be Free.
Okay.
And, right now, all I do is, I post on my regular page and then I just share to that page. And then on my Instagram, you can post on Instagram and then you can tell Instagram, whatever you post on Instagram, it'll automatically, you can choose to tell it where to post your stuff at. So if you want to post that same post on Facebook, you don't have to, go to Facebook to post it, you can post right on Instagram.
Okay.
So, like I'll post, like I will post, like I'll post the verse of the day. And I'll go and post it on Instagram. And then, Instagram, see, then it'll come down here if I want to post it too, and I can choose those places. So we can post it one on Instagram, and then we can just put, if we want to go to Facebook, Twitter, We also need to get a Twitter account. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do have a Twitter account.
Okay, so yeah, you can send me all the information so I can look at it.
Okay.
And, so we'll be able to post and then just,
So you're gonna send me a friend request?
yeah, from, let me see if you said, you gonna make my man start clicking again. You gonna make me like. But you know what? Guess what? I keep important books. Like I had an occasion in my life where, well, when I moved to Texas, I just left everything for what I said what's important to me, my books.
Mm.
I just have all my project management books
Mhm.
because for some reason I can't let them go.
Yeah.
And I just, because I really love project management. But I still have my project management. Oh, yeah, we are friends.
Okay.
Yep.
Under Anderson? No.
Uh-huh. I think this was our girl.
Don't get you lying.
Too many names. Look, I go to the doctor, they say your name, and I have to look on the list to see what, I try to look on the list to see what name they got written down there. Because, my driver's license and my social security card is Anderson Grant, but I'm divorced. And I've been married too many times. I said I didn't been married, that I took somebody their space in the universe. They were supposed to be married, and I got married. I took their space in the universe. I feel so bad. So I had, and oh my God, it's like this. My mom and my sister, they'll call me up and say, I'm getting ready to send you something in the mail. What's your last name?
Today.
I just thought that just pick one and stick with it. I was married to a coach, but I used all my names, especially when I was professional and I was comptroller and the corporate secretary treasurer and all that. I used all my names.
My mom actually has 3 names. She's married 3 times.
Yeah.
She gets embarrassed by it. She doesn't really like, people to figure it out.
I know. Well, I'm embarrassed too. I'm embarrassed too, but I'm not telling you.
Don't like you.
I tell her it's like somebody else would have been getting married. My girlfriend told me the other day, she's like, yeah, because she's married now, everybody's married and I'm single. And she was like, because she told me before she said, no, she said, please don't get married again till I get married one time.
That's a big favor to ask somebody.
I was like, okay, she did. She was like, please don't get married again. Let me get married first, and before you get married again. So I was like, okay.
So you have to put it together,
Yeah. So April 9th, I didn't put that on my calendar.
Okay.
April 9th.
So we're not gonna, come through tomorrow. So, but, we'll talk.
Okay.
And, I'm thinking, get together on Thursday, and then we'll be in the park on Friday.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, like I said, I'm thinking if Lisa can make it down here on Friday, then we'll do the paperwork and everything so that we can get paid and stuff like that. The stipend will be $15 an hour, but here's the trick, you can only do 10 hours a week.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, that was part of the 2 of you, so that's the paperwork. So Lisa's planning to be here, but if she's not, then we'll just kind of get it signed up. Get it done.
So I don't have to look at my notes. The launch is at what time? 11 a.m. And I apologize for being a little late. I've caught myself to be behind today.
the reason for that date actually, I don't think that the tourism fellow keep do it, but I would have wanted to do something bigger on April 9th, because that's the day that leaves so many complaints.
Because, oh my God. I watched the whole documentary about the Civil War, all that, and I was like, oh my God. Well, yeah, so what are you gonna do? You gonna do a banner, what are you gonna do?
You know, because originally I wanted to do the play, and once I realized that wasn't gonna happen, I kind of didn't think of anything else, but you're right, something.
Yeah,
needs to
because
be-
if you have, especially, that's a way, you gotta, you're there so you can,
Maybe
hey,
use it.
this is, make that a big thing, you know,
Right,
this
right.
day is significant, the
Right.
significance of this day.
Right, you're
Yeah,
right.
they need to know, but that's interesting. That's nice.
Yeah, you're voting there, you're still up. All right, my dear.
I guess I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, so we'll talk before then. Okay. Yeah, now that she's talking about, we need to make next Friday noteworthy, I'm thinking, yeah, some kind of banner or something that acknowledge that.
Okay, I'm gonna bring my, I probably can't do it Monday,
Mhm.
but the next interview, I'm gonna bring my home set, it's my green screen, or I'm gonna make I don't have a black curtain,
Mhm.
but, I'm gonna try to make one,
Okay.
it's a regular curtain.
Mhm.
And, my green screen.
You mean the black curtain to hang here?
I have something to put it on.
Okay.
You know, I said for a long time ago.
To the slower?
To the other one. The first one I did,
Oh, okay, I don't remember.
Kings and Queens.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I still got it.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Still got it. I got to make an appointment for my shop.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah, you do.
I see it. I'll probably do it sometime this month,
Okay.
but I probably won't get it till next month. I really want to do one shop.
Mhm.
From Johnson & Johnson, but it said it don't work on 85% of the people.
Mm,
I don't want those shops to take me to depression.
no.
No way. So, I'm gonna see which shot is best for me. My doctor is doing that too.
Mhm.
I can't wait 2 months, but I don't know.
No, yeah.
Okay, see you. See you tomorrow.
Nice meeting you, darling.
Nice meeting you.
I told you they got me behind. It took me about 3 hours to put this fake hair on top of my head. That's what got me behind. My braid girl is my appointment not till Monday.
Uh-huh.
And, then I had dyed hair, because all my roots were dark and gray.
Uh-huh.
And, then I found this hair, which is totally not the color of my hair, so I had to figure out how to make it,
It
you know,
works.
like, how to deal with it, like, you got all this blonde hair, and you got this hair, and that's what, it's been throwing me off for this whole week.
I hear you.
That's with this fake hair. I can't wait to get my braids, because when I get them, it's nothing. I don't do
Right.
anything. I just get up and put, I can, like,
Right. Now, this is like, the whole hair thing, this is like, first time I ever had this kind of braids and stuff like that.
really?
Very first time, you know, and, I'm looking forward to getting these out and like getting, just, you know, I think I'm gonna try some wigs and stuff like that. 'cause
Oh,
this is
okay,
like-
but that's what me and Barbara went wig shopping one day, but I got to think about it. I was like, summertime coming out, that's it for me.
That might be true too, I don't know.
All righty then, well, you got my, just text me, call me, and, just, if so we can keep it moving.
Yeah, like I said, go to the website,
Okay,
and that's gonna give you a lot of information, and probably prompt a lot of questions,
okay,
and we can take it from there. But the whole idea is making sure that, use next Friday, the 9th, as get as much out of it as possible.
Right, so you definitely need to talk about this. The big thing could be the significance of this day. This day was chosen for our lots because the significance and blah blah blah. It is, the day that. Oh my God! Tell me that again. That Lee surrendered to Grant
On April 9th, he surrendered to, and also there were thousands of Black Union soldiers who were there to witness this the surrender.
Wow.
And that's never talked about.
My husband, okay, I'm a Grant. He was a Grant, and he is he's a psychopath, but he memorizes stuff.
Mhm.
So he know the whole history of you should see him. If he would meet people, hello, my name is his whole name with all the Navy stuff added at the end,
Right.
including retired.
Right.
And then he would talk about Ulysses. He always said Ulysses.
Mhm.
Ulysses is what he called him.
Mhm.
Ulysses, and he could tell you the whole thing. And he would tell you he was a short man, but he stood of high stature. That's what he would always say, because he was a little teeny tiny, little itsy bitsy man. I shouldn't have married him. That's one thing now I know. I'm scared of little teeny tiny men.
Napoleonic complex, huh?
Oh my, all of them got it. But I do have a ex brother-in-law. I mean, I don't know him. Like, he was not raised with my husband, but I don't know how I met him. But he is about 4 feet tall. But he is so humble and just.
Mhm.
He's totally different from every other short person I've ever come in contact with.
Wow.
And I married 2 short men. I mean, literally, like, oh no, not ever again.
So there must be something about the challenge of it all that appeals to you.
I didn't even care about their height. They had issues.
Uh-huh.
And then I was just like, I lived my whole life like, can't wear shoes because, can't be over them because they have a you think they don't. They're like, oh yeah, I don't have a problem. I love my woman to be tall. I remember once I went on a cruise with my third husband, and I had some 5-inch heels. Boy, I was about 10 feet taller than him. He was so mad. He did some horrible things to me on that boat, but except for, thank God he didn't throw me overboard. Called me, told me I was an avatar.